So with all that talking in theory, we all want to get started. So what's in this course? In this course, we're almost done with the introduction, and we'll then move on to the basics of MongoDB, basic operations, and most importantly, the basic CRUD operations. CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete, which are the core operations basically any application will have to do. If you're a newcomer to MongoDB, you should absolutely start there. Well, you start here, but then this is the first real content module with which you should start. After that, we'll have a look at data schemas and relations. How do you model your data? How do you find the right balance between having that flexible document schema and still using a schema in your app? How do you relate different documents? We'll have a look at that in this module. Thereafter, I'll dive a bit deeper into working with the shell, some different things you can configure there, and how you can, for example, run that MongoD server as a service on Mac and Linux. And we'll then have a look at the graphical user interface, Compass. We'll not really work with that throughout the course, but I still want you to know it and to understand that you can use that to look into your data. Now, after that, we're back to the shell, and we'll dive deeper into create operations. That is where you can start if you have some basic understanding. So if you're not a total newcomer, but you know basically what MongoDB does, you could skip the other modules if you want and dive into that. And we'll not just have a deep dive on the C of the CRUD, we'll also have a deep dive at reading, so filtering and querying data, at updating, and at deleting data. So a lot of deep dives there to show you all configuration options, all filters, and all the different ways of getting that data you need. Now thereafter, we'll have a look at indexes, a feature that allows you to speed up your queries. I'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages and how to use them. If you're an advanced user and you know all that CRUD stuff already, this might be the entry point you want to use, so you could skip forward to that if you're pretty confident that the rest will be boring to you. Now, after indexes, we'll work with geospatial data, because MongoDB is actually really great at storing locations and at querying that, so that you can do things like, I am here, which is the closest restaurant. That is really easy to do with MongoDB, as you will learn in this module. Now, thereafter, we'll have a look at the aggregation framework, which is a more powerful way of retrieving data from your database, and you will learn how you can use that and how you can build complex aggregation pipelines with the help of MongoDB. It's then time to work into a special kind of data, into numeric data. I will teach you how to work with different kinds of numbers and what's special about that in MongoDB. Well, and with that out of the way and with these core features covered, I'll dive into a crucial feature, security and authentication. How do you secure your Mongo database? What's to that? And how can users authenticate against it? And with users, I mean database users. So, for example, your application or you as a real person using the shell. Thereafter, we'll have a look at performance, fault tolerance, and deployments. So how can you improve the performance? What are important factors? And how do you, in the end, get your local MongoDB environment into the web, into the cloud, so that you can really use it from anywhere and not just from your local machine, which is great for practicing and for working or for developing, but not really for running this in production, obviously. Thereafter, we'll have a look at a cool feature called transactions, which was added with MongoDB 4.0. And we will learn how to move from the shell, so from the knowledge you gained with all the shell operations, to the drivers. And we will build an entire application there, a Node React application. And you don't need to know either to get a lot out of that module, to learn how you can use the driver, the Node driver in this case, and use the knowledge you gained in the course to quickly create an amazing application. Thereafter, I will conclude this course by diving into MongoDB Stitch, which is this other offering MongoDB has with the serverless functions, the triggers, and so on. You will learn how you can use that to build, together with the MongoDB database, a complete application where you focus entirely on your business logic and data, and you don't have to worry about creating REST APIs, configuring servers, or anything like that. So this is what's inside the course. I hope you'll like it, and I'm super excited to dive into it with you.